So I looked at the photo from the other day. We'd been out as a family for a walk, and there's all 8 of us sitting on a tree with the photo taken with a hand up that the phone seems to recognise, and a picture perfect photo. And I had to smile to myself, because as beautiful as that picture was with those smiling faces, it didn't tell the true story. I'd like to tell you that every moment of lockdown has been easy in my family, but it hasn't. Isn't it strange that when you're put under new pressures and thrown together into a circumstance you probably wouldn't choose on your own, something of what your heart is like and the heart of those with whom you live is put on show, and you get to see things that little bit more clearly, and you get a sense of your need from the Lord a little bit more clearly. Maybe you're in exactly the same boat. Maybe like me, you started out with good intentions in different areas of family life and they've gone by the by. Maybe a little bit like me, you've said and done things that you realise may have seemed like a good idea at the time, but right now as you look back you're a little bit ashamed. Maybe there have been particular stresses and worries around this whole circumstance that you have visited down upon your family. Maybe you're struggling to relate to a precious family member and you can't wait for lockdown to end so that you at least get a bit of space from each other. And the big question in the midst of all of that is, how do we as families cope with lockdown? How does Christ meet us? How do we do our family life in such a way that it has realistic expectations about the fact that we are sinners, instinctively prideful, have out of control desires, and so often unfair expectations of those who live around us, whether we are children or parents? And how is it that we will maintain this attitude of moving towards one another in love, particularly when we're feeling pretty weak ourselves? How does Christ meet us? How does he bring us together? How does he carry us through conflict? How is it that we don't have to play act that we're always going to get it right, but there is always restoration together when we get it wrong? I've got a family of kids who range from 8 through to 20, and we've been trying to figure that out as we've gone through this strange season. And we want to invite you to join with us as we think about how we can be part of a process of change in our own hearts and own lives, not under any expectation that we're going to get everything right, but knowing that when we walk closely with the Lord, there is restoration, there is hope, there is change, there is patience, there is the putting off of pride, and there is the extending of love. So whether you've got youngsters who are preschoolers through to teenagers who may want to do their own thing, why don't you set aside 35-40 minutes on a Monday evening through June, join us as we work through with activity sheets, little case studies, bits from the Bible, discussions about what has gone well, and you interact as a family group around your meal that you'd normally have on a Monday night, and join us so that we can just all move that little bit closer to coping as families in lockdown. May the Lord bless you, and we look forward to seeing you and joining with us.